What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host Josh, and I am here for my favorite episode of the year, and it is the Bundesliga season predictions. And this is an episode that's obviously fun because there's a lot of debate. Last year, if you guys haven't checked it out, I put Schalke 9th. So, not very good at doing this by any stretch, but I'm going to try it once again for the upcoming season. And if it's not obvious, this upcoming season looks to be even further unpredictable. With all the manager changes, all the transfers in and out, I think this is going to be an absolutely
breathtaking
Bundesliga season coming up, and I can't wait to sit down and go through my Bundesliga predictions. And if you guys enjoy it, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and let's get into it. So guys, we're going to go from 18th to 1st to build some of the suspense. So to get it kick-started, we're going to go in 18th place with Greuther Fürth. And the main reason I went with that squad is just, again, same kind of reason I put Arminia Bielefeld last year in dead last. I just didn't know enough about them in terms of the quality. I know they had a good Bundesliga 2 campaign. They were able to climb the table, stole that last promotion right at the end, and I mean, I guess deservingly so, came out to the Bundesliga, but I don't see them kind of replenishing that squad the way that I thought that they needed to be able to compete. But of course, we've seen Union Berlin, we've seen Bielefeld, we've seen these kind of types of teams in the past have massive surprises. So they may surprise, but for me, just from what I know of the team, I put them in 18th place, getting relegated and going right back down to the Bundesliga 2. In 17th place, I went with Arminia Bielefeld. Now, I know I didn't want to be too obvious in putting the two promotion teams that came up right back down, so I mean, I did see some good things with Arminia last year. There's no question about it. It was incredible seeing them survive in the last day. But again, when it came to replenishing their squad, I just don't think they've quite taken the game to the next level. I think with some of the hungrier sides that's going to come up, I think there's going to be a chance that they're going to be flirting with relegation. So that's the main reason I put them down in 17th place, going back after a nice season, or 2 seasons stay in the Bundesliga, back to the Bundesliga 2. In 16th place, in the promotion versus relegation playoff for the Bundesliga 2, and then the 3rd place team, and then the 16th place team, getting all crazy. But I put Bochum, our new rivals, our new derby against Borussia Dortmund. I think they're going to come up here and they're going to surprise a few teams. I think that they have a good squad. I think they kind of cruised through the second Bundesliga last year, and I think that they're going to come up here and do some dangerous things, and I just don't want to put them down because we need some type of derby back. And I mean, Schalke's not going to find the way back up anytime soon. I'm hoping that it's going to be Bochum here to stay. I'm also going to predict that they win their Bundesliga relegation playoff to stay in the league. So I got them in 16th, and I have them staying in. Our new derby rivals. It should be fun to see them, and I've seen enough from them last year to see that they have a good opportunity to stay in the Bundesliga this year. Looking in 15th place, we have Augsburg, and again, another team that I think is going to be struggling. I mean, they may even slip a little further down the line. I actually had them in a relegation place in my last season predictions just because they always seem to flirt with relegation. But somehow they always seem to survive. So this time around, I didn't have them quite down in that 17th spot. I had them a little further up the list. And I think it's going to be the same type of thing. And they're going to go in there. They're going to have some surprise results because they usually do. And then they're going to have some embarrassing results. They're going to probably get beaten a couple times pretty heavily. But they're going to find a way to get the job done like they have been doing for quite a few seasons now. Which is why I got them in a nice, safe 15th place. Now looking over at 14th place, we have Mainz. And we have another exact same type of scenario as Augsburg. A team that seemingly likes to flirt with relegation, but massive kudos to this Mainz team. I don't know how they pulled off relegation last year. The run that it went on was absolutely incredible. Only behind Borussia Dortmund at one point, they were the hottest team in the Bundesliga, which is the reason they had a relatively safe Bundesliga season. I mean, there's not really much to put on it after that pathetic start they had. To be able to recover the way they did is really impressive. I think that this year they're going to have probably a better start and it's going to kind of get tailored out, but I still don't think that the squad is near pushing to the top of the half of the table yet. I think they're going to have some moments where they're going to be panicked, same as the Augsburg game. The Augsburg team, they like to find results where they upset bigger teams in the Bundesliga and then they get hammered the odd time as well. So for me, I think it's a safe spot putting Mainz in 14th place. Looking in 13th, I got the Billy Goats. I got Cologne. I put them there because, again, they were able to somehow miraculously find a way to survive relegation. I don't think it would have been kind of cruel on them if they got relegated. I think they are a good enough team to stay in the Bundesliga. I think they're going to have a better season this year. I think they're going to actually get some of the results that they desperately needed that they just weren't quite able to do during the middle stretch of last season. And they'll have a relatively comfortable Bundesliga season. Nothing too crazy, nothing too disappointing, in a fair 13th spot. Looking in 12th place, again, I got Hertha Berlin. I mean, I had them way higher up the table. I think I put them somewhere close to Europa League football. I know George put them up in the Champions League. I mean, a lot of teams had a lot of hype around Hertha. I don't see it this year. I mean, from watching how disorganized they were last year, the struggles they had, I don't think just like that it's going to be changed. I think last season was a good opportunity for them to get the pieces together, and they weren't able to do it. I think they still may lose some of their big hitters. Potentially, Mateus Cunha could be out, and if he leaves, I think that's a huge hole in their front, and I just see kind of another mediocre season for them. Going up to 11th spot, I put Hoffenheim, and Hoffenheim had a really dreadful campaign after a few good ones again, but I don't know. My gut's telling me that it's going to be a little bit of the same. It's going to be a little bit of inconsistency. I mean, Kramaric, we know, is going to probably still score 15 to 20 goals, but other than that, I think there's a lot of holes in this squad. I think they're going to struggle from time to time and just basically be mediocre and sit in 11th spot. Looking in 10th place, I put Union Berlin, and I know it's a little bit harsh, and every time I put Union somewhere, they just thrive. So hopefully, they could thrive. But the main reason I'm putting them where I am in 10th place is because they are going to have European football. It's hard to balance European football when you have a younger, kind of inexperienced squad in terms of handling European football, handling the Bundesliga. I don't think that they're quite going to be able to pull off the incredible results they did to get a 7th place finish. And I think they have such talent in that squad, and that they have enough of it to at least be able to compete in Europe as well as hold down a respectable Bundesliga standing, and I put them in 10th. I think that's fair, and I think that's probably about where they're going to be. In 9th, because of a viewer I made a bet with, we had to put Freiburg there. So it's not unrealistic, but I needed to make sure I put them in 9th place. But I do personally think they were going to be down there anyways. So because of the bet I made with one of our viewers, I got Freiburg sitting in a respective 9th spot. And yeah, again, there's not a crazy amount to say. I think Freiburg is a consistent Bundesliga performer. They know what they're doing. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how they can push on this year. And I'm expecting a respectable 9th place finish, somewhere in and around there. As we go up to 8th, I put Stuttgart, a team that really impressed me. Now, obviously losing Nicolas Gonzalez, not very helpful. They tried to replenish him with the former Dortmund lad, but I think that they're going to go in. I think they're going to thrive on what they accomplished last year, and I think that they're going to really start pushing for some of the European spots. And I think what they're doing last year was super impressive. I mean, obviously hammering us 5-1 was quite painful, but it showed that there's a real team in there, and even losing Nicolas Gonzalez, I don't think is going to really dethrone them. An excellent footballer, just won the Copa America, kudos to him, but was dealing with injuries last year, so I think they can move on and compete for the top 6, top 7. Now getting into the European places, in 7th for the Europa Conference League, I put Frankfurt. Now Frankfurt obviously was very close to pulling off Champions League places until Dortmund had their incredible run, and Frankfurt just kind of fell apart. With a new manager, I mean, picking up Ole Glasner, I think is a huge signing. I think that he did such incredible things with Wolfsburg, but also losing Andre Silva makes me kind of wonder where the goals are going to come from. Signing the Colombian Border comes in. I mean, he's a good player. He's coming from River Plate. He's done it at the competitive level, the international level. I'm not quite convinced he can put up really near the numbers that Andre Silva comes in, but I really do like Oliver Glasner. I think him coming in, kind of finding that structure that found him success at Wolfsburg, got them, obviously Champions League football is going to be very valuable for them. So that's why I have them somewhere around the 7th place. They could obviously push a little bit further, but it's going to be depending whether the new signing can hit the goals anywhere near that Andre Silva can. They got good surrounding cast, good new manager, so there's a lot of positive things still about Frankfurt, even though they lost Andre Silva, but that's why I got them sitting in 7th place in the Europa Conference League. Going into the Europa places, I put our friends Wolfsburg. Now, I think that they're one of the wild cards for me who things could go really wrong for them. I think having Mark Van Bommel come in, I mean, he's got experience. He got managed at PSV. He was the assistant coach at UAE before he ended up taking over this job. So, I mean, for me, out of the big hitters in the Bundesliga, big question marks are around Mark Van Bommel, whether he can do it at this level. It's going to be very curious to know, as you guys know, out of the last season's teams from 1 to 8, 7 of the 8 have new managers. So it's going to be very cool to see. And I actually put all 7 in the remaining 7 spots. So all 7 have new managers coming in here, which is why this Bundesliga season is going to be crazy. But out of those managers, Mark Van Bommel for me is a little worrying. And depending if Weghorst stays and some of the other key signings for Wolfsburg, it's going to be up in the air. But I do think that Mark Van Bommel has got a good opportunity to hit the ground running. And if he does, I got them sitting in 6th place, but definitely not near the Champions League positions anymore. Sitting in 5th place, I put Bayer Leverkusen. Now, their new signing in Gerardo Sinowane coming over from the Young Boys, talented Swiss manager, did some incredible things for the Young Boys in the last 3 years. I think that he's a good signing. I think he's someone who can come in, bring some attacking football, the likes that Peter Bosz kind of got caught with from the time to time in some of the inconsistencies he had. He's got a good crew to work with. Leverkusen has added a few different areas, picked up Becker over from PSG. They still have Patrick Schick now coming off from an incredible Euros. They still have Florian Wirtz, who came off from winning the German U21 championship. So there's a lot of positivities around them. But again, in terms of what this team does and its consistencies, I think it's very hard to see them really push for the Champions League positions. But if he comes in and he can get this team settled, get this team running, they definitely have an opportunity. We'll have to obviously take into consideration if any players come and go. But I think they'll be right around that 5th to 6th mark, and that's where I kind of am expecting Leverkusen to be. Now we get into the top 4. In 4th place, I put Gladbach. Now, I think Gladbach's got a great team. I think the fact that last year they finished 8th is just shocking. I mean, I think it didn't help that Marco Rose got announced the way he did over to Dortmund when, kind of messed up the Gladbach year. They also had to worry about Champions League, which they did relatively well in. But I think now, having Andy Hüttner come in from Frankfurt after the impressive things he did with this very, very tactical team that he can easily play his favored 3-5-2. We can even play a 3-4-1-2 type formation. I do think they have the personnel to do it. If Marcus Thuram stays, they still have play up front that can really suit the way that Eddie Hüttner likes to play. So I think he can come in here and really get this team performing the way that they should have at the tail end of last year. And with no European football distracting them whatsoever, I think this gives them a massive, massive opportunity to keep pushing on and really go for the Champions League positions, because I think that's the main goal for them. And it's a big opportunity for them to right a wrong of last season. Going into 3rd place, I put Leipzig. And I think Leipzig has got a lot of question marks around them too. Very good ones and sort of questionable ones. The questionable one around me is Jesse Marsch. Nagelsmann had this team playing in every which formation you could possibly think of. Very tactically advanced the way that Nagelsmann likes to think. Jesse Marsch is more of that 4-4-2 kind of traditionalist. He came up through, obviously, the RB system. This is the first American manager managing at this level, and he's got a star-studded squad. I still have question marks about the back after seeing their 2 main center backs leave. I don't think they've quite replenished them. If they pull off the Maxence Lacroix signing, I think that will be huge. They still have Willy Orban back there, which is incredible as well. Will Sabitzer stay? Will Sabitzer go? We don't know. But the big thing for me is they signed Andre Silva. They signed the 2nd best goal scorer in the Bundesliga last year, and something that Leipzig missed out was someone who could put the ball in the back of the net. And obviously playing Forsberg as a false 9 from time to time in that 4-3-3 is not good enough. Sorloth wasn't doing it. Poulsen wasn't doing it. And they now have a goal scorer who I think is going to hit the ground running. I really do. But it's just whether that Jesse Marsch can push on and really get that type of performance that he's looking for and do it consistently over the season. I think that there will be some bumps in the road, but I think with the talent they have and Jesse Marsch being excited and does have experience as an assistant manager for Leipzig, he'll do fine and it'll be a quite comfortable 3rd place finish. Now we go in the top 2, and of course it's Bayern, it's Dortmund. It is what it is. Now, if I'm a betting man, I'm going to bet that Bayern finishes first. That is exactly how it is. It's going to take every kind of piece to put it together to get Dortmund to win, but I'm here now to be a bit of a realist / an optimist, and I'm going to put Bayern 2nd. It's probably, Josh, you're biased, you're a Dortmund fan. It is, but hear me out. Nagelsmann is coming in. One of the youngest managers you're going to find coming in, taking one of the biggest jobs in world football. He was someone who played absolutely all over the place with Leipzig last year. Like I said, I mean, he played the 4-4-2. He could play the 3-5-2, the 3-4-1-2, played 4-3-3s. He was absolutely all over the place. Hansi Flick played in that 4-2-3-1, very simple type football, and they got the squad to do so. If Nagelsmann comes in here and he tries to overthink it and he tries to really put his mark on this team and it doesn't quite fit, I think there could be some bumps in the road, especially with some of the legends like Alaba and Boateng and Martinez and players like that leaving the club and not really putting in money to rejuvenate it properly. I mean, Upamecano has come in, but I mean, he got bullied pretty nicely by Holland, just saying. But it's going to be a lot of question marks. Now, like I said, if I'm a betting man, I put them first. I put them first last year. I'm not stupid. They're probably the favorites to win. But I think there is going to be some real question marks. And with this exciting Bundesliga season, with all these new managers, all these new players coming in and out of the big hitters in this league, I think that Bayern are going to be vulnerable. And if he can't get it right and he starts getting question marks asked about him, and the fact that they paid 25 million for Nagelsmann, it's going to be crazy to see how he copes with this type of pressure. And I think that opens a door for Dortmund. And that's why I got them up top. And if Holland leaves, I mean, third place Dortmund. But I don't think he's leaving. I've told you guys that. Even with Jadon Sancho leaving, I think this team has got some hidden gems that are going to be coming in. I mean, if they sign Mullen, if they sign Bailey, if they get St. Just, Halstenberg, they add that type of power to this already very stacked team, and Erling Haaland is just going to get better. And this could be a season he scores 35 goals. And it wouldn't surprise me. I don't think it would surprise a lot of people seeing the way that this kid is continuously progressing. I'm 95% sure he's going to stay here this upcoming season. I think we're going to add pieces around him. And again, it comes to Marco Rose, because the same points I made for Nagelsmann in different ways happens to Marco Rose. Is he had a great season a couple years ago with Gladbach. He had a very mediocre season. He had a very mediocre season last year, taking a good Gladbach team to 8th. But now I think he's ready. I think he was distracted for the Dortmund job. He's got the Dortmund job. He's got that attack-minded football with a load of talent. If we add the right pieces, it gives him a magnitude of different formations he can go. And if he hits it right while Nagelsmann hits it wrong, I see Dortmund competing. And this is a Bundesliga title that we want to win as the fans, as the team. And I'm going for it. I'm going for it. I got Dortmund first. Hopefully I'm not wrong, but it's going to be a fun Bundesliga season. And anyone who's just joining the league and wanting to watch the league, this is the one to watch, man. With all the different changes that are happening. I've never seen it before. It's the 7 best teams in Germany have new managers. And I think that's going to make it a wide open challenge. I'm backing my boys. So let me know in the comments if you agree. I mean, I'm sure the Bayern fans will come in here and say, Josh, shut up. And that's fine. That's fine. I've told you my points. Bayern could easily hit the ground running as well. Talented young manager, good signings at Nuba Meccano, and just natural talent they already have. And of course, Robert Lewandowski, who I don't need to touch on. But this is my predictions. I'm going with Dortmund. I'm backing Tactical's Bundesliga predictions of last year, and I'm excited for it. So let me know in the comments if you guys agree, disagree on any of the different positions. And if you like the video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new, and we'll see you next time.